Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another hybrid What's Up Downtown event. We are so excited for you to be here at the beautiful Edgewater Hotel. Hello to everyone. Good to see you all live. Love the energy in the room. And hello to all of our friends worldwide on Zoom. And hello, Andy Rothy, to you as well. A personal hello. I'm doing well. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. We're excited to be here at the Edgewater Hotel and on Zoom. This will be recorded on our YouTube channel if you need to see it later. So Jason, you've been warned, it's going to be recorded. So we couldn't be more excited about our speaker today. There are going to be Jasons aplenty up on stage. We've changed Brian Lee's name to Jason. We've changed Anita's name to Jason. So it's just Jasons all day. So if in doubt, just call us Jason. But Jason Fields is the president and CEO of MadREP, Madison's Regional Economic Partnership. If you have not heard a presentation by Jason before, he's a dynamic speaker, amazing leader. We are just so thankful to have him in the community. And he's just literally hit the ground running, doing deals with the Bucks like in the first week he was around. That was just for me. Go Bucks. Bucks in six. Bucks in six. Before we begin today, we've got several new members. We want to say a huge thank you to Forward Theater represented by Sarah Millstone, Nehemiah Community Development Corporation by Dr. Alex G, and a non-business resident member who, if anyone is ever downtown, knows Judy Karofsky very well, walking around her dog around the Capitol Square multiple times a day. If you don't know Judy, say hi. She really is the keeper of downtown. I don't know, is that a term, the keeper of downtown? But it is now. It is now. All right, we've got a special part of our program today. We're going to bring forward Brian Lee, president of Revelation PR, Advertising and Social Media, and a DMI executive board member and chair of the DMI Membership Development Committee. That is a mouthful, to provide a special recognition today. Welcome, Brian.
Thanks, Jason. And good morning, everyone. I'm sorry I'm going to delay Jason Fields a little bit. He is a dynamic speaker. I've heard him many times.
Don't believe.
So on behalf of the DMI board, the Membership Development Committee, and more than 438 members, I want to take this opportunity to say a huge thanks to Carol Ann Hewitt, who is retiring from DMI after serving the organization for more than 10 years as Director of Development. I have had the pleasure of working with Carol Ann as both a member and now chair of the Membership Development Committee. I have witnessed firsthand the level of thoughtfulness, caring, work ethic, and commitment she has shown and exemplified in her role as Director of Development. Over the past 10 years, she has been an integral part of growing DMI and strengthening our membership. She has expanded the DMI Partnership Program, which now includes 34 partners participating in 4 levels: Pinnacle, Community, Downtown, and Madison. She has been part of the launch and expansion of DMI programs, including New Member Coffee, Behind the Scenes, and Nosh at Noon series. She has helped grow the DMI annual celebration and State of the Downtown into significant fundraisers for this organization. And she has helped develop our ambassador program for welcoming and onboarding new members to DMI. Most recently, Carol Ann has served as the co-chair of DMI's homelessness subcommittee and has helped a local organization called Catalyst for Change raise funds to furnish apartments. Carol Ann has also played a key role in developing the DMI Legacy Fund back in 2014. If you didn't know, this fund was created to honor the visionaries who started DMI many years ago and recognize those who have made significant impacts on DMI and downtown Madison. Since then, donations have been made in the names of many individuals, with the funds going toward furthering DMI's mission and work through research, special projects, grant writing, and staff training. Today, I am pleased to announce that donations from members have recently been made in Carol Ann's name. In addition, we are pleased to announce that DMI will be making a contribution to Catalyst for Change in Carol Ann's name for her work and support of this organization. From all of us here at DMI, thank you so much, Carol Ann. The impact you have had on DMI and downtown will be long lasting. We'll miss you for sure, but this is a well-deserved retirement, and you should always know that you will always be welcome here at DMI. So please, everyone, join me in a round of applause for Carol Ann Hewitt.
Thank you, Brian, very much. I can't believe it's already your last day, Carol Ann. It was really official when you handed me your keys right before this event. We are going to miss you. You have been a great personal friend. Yeah, we're just going to miss you. I know, but it's to have that presence there every single day means a tremendous amount. What you've done for me personally, for my family, so from all of us at DMI, thank you. I don't know why I'm all sad. This is a joyous day, right? It's retirement. Don't ever retire around me, I guess. But again, thank you to Brian and thank you to Carol Ann. And we're excited to spend one last day with you. All right. To continue this program, I'd like to thank and recognize our sponsors for this event, the What's Up Downtown event series, and our generous sponsor from our major series sponsor, Whipfly LLP. We greatly appreciate everything that Whipfly does for our community. And we have DMI board member, longtime supporter, treasurer of the organization, and partner at Whipfly, Anita Mohammed, to say a few words. Welcome, Anita.
Thanks, Jason. And big thanks again to Carol Ann. We're definitely going to miss you around here. As Jason mentioned, my name's Anita Mohammed, and I'm a partner with Whipfly and member of the DMI Board of Directors. And Whipfly is really pleased to participate as the major sponsor of the DMI What's Up Downtown Breakfast Series. And I thank you all for joining us this morning, either here in person or virtually. As a multidisciplinary professional services firm, Whipfly delivers effective services to help organizations navigate these trying times and create lasting positive impact. We're here to help leaders like you navigate these trying times and a lot of economic change, including the potential for tax reform. And we invite you to visit whipfly.com for tax reform updates and industry-specific insights for financial institutions, construction and real estate, nonprofits, and more. Thank you, and I hope you all enjoyed today's program.
Thank you very much again, Anita. And I'm glad somebody is paying attention to tax reform. I took tax law in law school, and I'm glad someone else again is doing that. That was tough work. The What's Up Downtown Breakfast Series is thanks to many sponsors like Whipfly LLP, but also our supporting series sponsors, Ho Chunk Gaming, Madison, Michael, Best and Friedrich, the State Bank of Cross Plains, and our special contributors, the beautiful Edgewater Hotel and UW Health, Unity Point Health, Meritor, and Quartz. We thank these sponsors for their generous contributions for making this happen and supporting us throughout the last few years. Speaking of sponsors, today's monthly sponsor is a company very close to our hearts here in downtown, J.P. Cullen. We greatly appreciate all that J.P. Cullen is doing for downtown, their amazing office in the U.S. Bank building. And today we are here to welcome Tricia Braun, the Director of Client Strategies at J.P. Cullen, to say a few words. Welcome, Tricia.
Thank you, Jason. I was told twice about these steps, so I was almost guaranteed I was going to follow them. So thank you for the heads up. Again, Tricia Braun, Director of Client Strategies at J.P. Cullen, and we are honored to be a sponsor for the DMI Breakfast Series. We, I don't know if many of you know me. I came from an economic development background. I spent 20 years in that before joining J.P. Cullen about 2 years ago. And one of the things that I love about this company is how invested they are in the communities in which they work and how much they appreciate economic development. So I know they've been involved in DMI for probably forever almost. And it's kind of extra cool that I get to be here when MadREP, when Jason is here going to give his speech, because they are also one of the founding members of the Madison Regional Partnership, as well as part of the Be Bold study that created WEDC back in 2011. One of the cool things, I'm going off cue a little bit here, that Wisconsin's economic development network is unique. And so if you haven't really been involved in economic development outside of the state, you might not realize that. But the way that we are established with having local groups like DMI, the boots on the ground, frontline economic development, supported by regional groups that understand the different characteristics, unique opportunities, et cetera, challenges of those regions, and then partnered with the state has really created our ability to respond as a state with a unified team, which has been seen as a best practice across the country, having other states reach out and saying, how are you doing this? Because they're hearing from people that are based outside of Wisconsin that are working here that now see this, what value this brings as a really cool and I guess, great attribute for Wisconsin. So congratulations for all that you do, and thank you, and look forward to hearing Jason speak. Thank you.
So I know the joke gets said a lot at this stage, but the stairs really are precarious. So come on and test it out. The first one is 9 inches. The second one is 12 inches. And the last one is 6 inches. So it's this sort of wild ride as you go up. And yes, I think the first time I was up here, I did fall, but you are not going to fall. I promise you. All right. Now we are on to the show to my favorite Jason leader in town. I will say that proudly. Jason Fields. Jason Fields has been the president and CEO of the Madison Regional Economic Partnership since January of 2021. Prior joining MadREP, Jason served as a Wisconsin state legislator. He currently serves as the United States as a senator in the World Business Angel Investment Forum and as the founder of the Financial Promise Foundation, Inc., a nonprofit organization that teaches personal and financial business literacy. He's also the founder and managing director of Dark Knight Capital Ventures, a venture fund that seeks to invest in underrepresented founders across America. Jason has started in his financial career in services sector where he's collaboratively managed over $100 million in assets. He has also worked as a financial advisor, investment advisor, personal banker, credit union branch manager, and investment banking associate. He's a published author with, with 6 books? Holy cow, 4 of which are on financial topics for beginners, and holds a BS degree in business management from Cardinal Stretch University. Jason is with us this morning to share more about the important work of MadREP, an organization that Tricia just mentioned, DMI works with significantly. He's going to talk about the organization and his future and vision for the Madison region. Following the presentation, Jason will answer questions. So think up the hardest questions you can possible for him. Send those into menti.com, MENTI.com. Oh, it's right up here. Oh, great. Menti.com, and use the code 7307717. That is also the winning lottery ticket tonight, 73077017. And we will answer those questions. So anyone virtually send those in or live here on your phone at menti.com. So please welcome Jason Fields.
Geez, when you read it like that, it sounds like I actually know what I'm doing a little bit. Y'all, lower your standards or your expectations. Let's do that. I just have to start my timer because as a former recovering politician, you give us a microphone and we'll be here all day. So I want to thank you all, and Jason, and in fact, the entire community. Tricia, where's Jennifer? Jennifer actually helped me get the job. So you all should be thanking her if this goes well. If it doesn't, you should blame her if it doesn't go well. And Ron, who's like the, I guess, what are you, like an overlord or rotary, or what is the? Ron has been just trying to be helpful. So let me say this before I really get started. You all, thank you for welcoming me and my wife to this community. You don't know how much that means to us because we enjoy it here. It is a blast. We love coming here. We love working with all of you. And so I just want to say thank you for that, because that means a lot when you're a newcomer, and just the energy and the welcoming that this entire community has done has been fantastic. So I'll go into, MadREP in what I perceive is, our future. And this presentation has a lot to do with where are we at now? And more importantly, where can we go and where should we be going? We serve the 8-county region, South Columbia, Dodge, I should remember these, Iowa, Dane, Jefferson, Greene, and Rock. 8 counties, over 1 million people. And it is a pleasure. But one of the things that we need to continue to work on is, and I've learned this in politics, that we have to move out of this us versus them kind of attitude. It is not a urban versus rural. It is not a Dem versus Republican. Ladies and gentlemen, when the lights go out, we are the same color, same race, same people. That means that if we want to be competitive, then let's get rid of the nonsense and figure out what we need to do to come together and move this region, our 8-county region, but even our state forward. That should be the attitude. So what do we do? By a show of hands, and here's the come to Jesus me moment, how many of you really know what we do? I mean, by a show of hands, how many of you, if someone up on the street came to you and said, hey, what does MadREP do? Would you be able to answer that? How many feel like you would be able to answer that? Okay, so I got some work to do. Good. So here is the technical version. MadREP promotes the development of a dynamic economy through a comprehensive regional approach to economic development, the strategic pursuit of job creation, business growth, and target clusters, and the development of a coordinated talent pipeline. That's a lot to say. Do you really understand all of that? Maybe. But here's my version. And this is, I'm very simple, right? Remember the phrase, acronym KISS, keep it simple, stupid. That's what I do. I'm not that smart. Just keep it simple. So when people ask, what do we do? Here it is in a nutshell. We are constantly asking ourselves the question, and we're answering it, is this our region a great place to live, work, and play? That's it. Live, work, and play encompasses everything you do. Where do you live at? Where do you work at? And where do you play at? What's your enjoyment? What do you enjoy? And the number one question we're constantly asking and answering is, are we a great place to live, work, and play? If the answer to that is no, then we try to figure out what do we need to do to make it yes. If the answer to that is yes, then the next 2 questions are, can we be better? And can we sustain it? Can we sustain it? You're only number 1 for a while if you don't have a game plan to stay there. And the problem with being number 1 is it does a couple of things. It makes you rest on your laurels because you think we've done it, you've gotten there, and there's nothing else for you to do. That's the danger of this community when I got here, that you're so good that you almost relax a little bit. I'm very competitive. I was a stockbroker, ran all conference track, basketball, football. I'm very competitive. I don't care if I'm number 1. I don't care if I'm number 2 or 3. Nobody remembers who came in 2nd or 3rd place. And if I'm number 1, I want to stay there. So everything we do is about trying to stay in that number 1 spot. So where are we now? We got it going on. We are just number 1, places to live, livability. Number 1. You all, you should be clapping right now. I mean, thank you. Here's another thing we have to do, and it goes to that. We have to have a little bit more swag about our region. We have this Midwestern thing where we're all humble, and I get that. But when I got here, I told my wife, well, when I got permission to come here from my wife, I said, baby, Madison is a great place to live. She said, for who? And I want you to remember that. For who? But for the most part, we got it going on. Number 1. Living in the Madison region, constantly top notable best places to live. #1 best city for Gen Z, best places to retire. Ron will tell you at Rotary, I read someplace where Madison had the greatest place for seniors to live. I was trying to get my grandmother to move here, get a grandfather or something like that, because if seniors live here, why not put her in the market? If it's that great place to live, let's use it. So you can see we are good. Average commute time is 22 minutes here. This is funny to me, and this is something personal you guys say 22 minutes is like a long time around here. That's a cakewalk. And so when I'm out and I was at the store a couple of days ago, and the guy said it was like 10 minutes, but he said, yeah, that's really far away. I'm like, 10 minutes? But I love the fact that here, everything, my wife and I, we laugh about it because everything is so freaking close. We literally can walk to most places where we live at. We have everything we need. That's good. That's bad for me, good for her, because she's out, man, shopping and Amazon. I think Amazon gave us a plaque because my wife, something is at Amazon. I think the people at Target and all other stores, they know us now. They know us by our face and name. And that's the beauty of this place. Everything is close by. And so working and living in Madison is great. All right. Playing in the region, 200 miles of biking and hiking. Wisconsin, largest and most visited state. Park in less than an hour outside the city of Madison. Yahoo ranked Madison one of the best cities on earth for cycling. One of the #1 best college football town. Madison, a short list for unlikely foodie cities. Ladies and gentlemen, we are good. We are good. If you look, #1, top 25, top 15, #3, we are good. But for who? I think it was Jim Collins, I think, who wrote this book, Good is the Enemy of Great. But when you look at this, and this goes into the things that we have to be concerned about. Yes, we're good. We are. But being good, again, can make you rest. From 2015 to 2020, jobs increased by 5.2% in the Madison region, from 598,000 to 432 to 629, falling short of the national growth rate. We still have room for improvement. Non-white population makes up 15.75 compared to 38.9. Bottom of that, Wisconsin was ranked the worst state for racial equity in employment and wealth. We have a tale of two places. We're good, but for who? And then how do we get better? That's what we always have to continue to ask ourselves. I'm going to go back to that. Home ownership. In Dane County, 12% for Black household own homes. Most of you know that one way we measure wealth is home ownership. 12%, we got a lot of room to go. We have a lot of work to do. Wisconsin ranked 3rd worst state in the nation for its home ownership rates among African Americans. Again, we're good, but I don't want us to get to a point where we feel like we've arrived and that we don't have more work to do. So out of the pandemic, here are a few concerns, and you all will see this if you haven't read about it. And these are all articles from this year. Workforce shortage challenges reemerge as Wisconsin businesses dig out of pandemic. I don't know if you know, everywhere you go, there's a for hire sign. We used to argue over $15, or they used to argue over $15. Now you see companies willing to pay way more than that, or with benefits, and people are still not returning to those places. Wisconsin sees affordable housing shortages in a pandemic. Childcare providers facing staffing shortages worsened by the pandemic. Broadband is not just a rural problem; it's a rural and I hate urban, but it's everyone's problem. From rural towns to urban Madison, many people still don't have reliable internet. And in fact, when I called a friend of mine, it was the mayor, Dodgeville, and he said, Jason, we have kids going to McDonald's to do their homework because that's where they can get internet access. We're good, but we got a lot of work to do still. So here's my vision. First off, there has to be a realization that when I came into this position, Madison Economic Development, Madison Economic Partnership, we have to turn ourselves into a real economic development agency. And the first thing to do is make sure you all know what we do. We cover that. We are constantly asking and answering the question, are we a great place to live, work, and play? And from our answers from that, that's where we begin to solve problems. Why should people invest in MadREP? You all should know we are not a membership organization. We raise money by asking for it the old fashioned way, the get on your grind, pick up the phone call, have meetings. I'm an old school stockbroker, which means back in the day when I was selling, it was cold calls and you had to do 100 calls a day or 100 calls every 2 hours to get 10 people to say yes to get one sale. That's the environment I come from. That's where we take this. Old school raising money, because people are not just writing out checks. And so if that's the case, then what's the value added proposition for MadREP? Why should you all invest or partner? Why should you all know what we do and how you could potentially partner? So we have to ask and answer, what's the value added proposition to this community, to places like JP Cullen, to DMI? What's our value added proposition? What problems are we trying to solve? And that's where the vision for MadREP comes into play. First, we have to embody economic development in its purest of form. Economic development used to be business retention, business attraction, and new business development. Now you can add 2 more prongs to that stool, where it's business retention, new business development, business attraction, community development, and workforce development. So now it's 5 instead of 3, because now true economic development means, a good friend of mine, Pete Dolkemeyer, coined this. He didn't coin it, but he was saying this back in 2019, a rising tide lifts all boats. That means now we have to make sure everybody, regardless of race, creed, sexual orientation, creed, religion, whatever, we need to make sure everybody has a chance to be empowered to be successful. And that's what now the new version of what economic development is. It takes into consideration the people and the places, and how do we put it all together? I like this definition. The definition that the Indiana Economic Development Association uses: economic development is the facilitation of investment that leads to long-term community prosperity. That's the goal of economic development. That's really what it is. How do we do that? This is what I call our pivot strategy. I made this presentation to the board and they decided to keep me on. So apparently they liked it. And this has to do with how do we look at our verticals and what problems are we trying to solve? Broadband. We created a game plan around broadband, and we'll get to that. Workforce development. What are we doing to make sure that organizations and companies like you all have the talent that you can draw from? Housing. We have to stop saying affordable housing because it has a negative connotation to it. Don't get me started on that. But workforce housing is legitimate. When I'm looking and talking with our 8 county partners and regions, workforce housing is an issue. If we don't have the ability to attract talent and they don't have a place to live, then what are we really doing? Nothing. Thank you, John, right? Bob. Thank you, Bob. Bob was agreeing with me. Innovation and entrepreneurship, access to capital. Access to capital for people of color in the BIPOC community is a huge issue. So what do we need to do? Create a revolving loan fund, which we did, and we're working on a venture debt fund. And then our Gold Shovel program, which helps us certify sites and buildings and locations that are primed for development. Now, those are the things that we as MadREP can monetize, meaning in order to take us from an economic development organization that wasn't just dependent on grants, we have to generate revenue. And so the value added proposition now is how can we attract partners who would be willing to come in and invest? The value added proposition, if you invest, there's a return on that dollar. Hence, we look a little bit more sexier to you all now. because I'm not just asking you for money. Now I'm giving you a value added proposition. If you invest, there's something in it for both of us. And then it's our mission driven verticals. Because even though we still have to raise money and we still need the finances, that cannot take away from what we're supposed to be doing. Our mission driven, we do a lot of marketing. We market our 8-county region. We market the state to foreign and domestic investors. We market it to other locations. My good friend, Zach Brandon, and Zach and I were talking, and he said, Jason, we know the pitch to the white guy at Stanford, but what's the pitch to the African-American guy at a HBCU? What's the pitch to the African-American doctor in Chicago that has a telehealth company and is looking for venture capital? I personally market those because, and I don't want to take this out of context, but it's not always about race and color. It is about talent. And we need to attract talent of all kinds. And so in order to do that, we have to find those untapped pools of talent and market one of the best places to live in the country. Because at the end of the day, regardless of what color or creed is, you start to see, hey, this is a great place to work, live, and play. I don't care what color you are. You just want to be somewhere that's good. So we market our area. We provide data. Our diversity, equity, and inclusion survey was just released, and great results. I would advise you all to go to our website. And then our BRE and site selection attraction. We market the assets of our 8-county region to investors, to site selectors, to major companies, to people that are willing to start up and relocate. That's our mission. So we have to have a two-pronged approach to what we do at MadREP. Starts with talent. We have to look at not just attracting talent, but I'll say this, and this stems from a legislator point of view. We have to figure out why Wisconsin has a great education system for one group of people. But then when you look at the BIPOC community, we're dead last. That's unsustainable. We can't be a competitive place if we want to look at attracting talent. We have to change that. So what we're doing is working with the school system, and not just the Metropolitan Madison School District, but school districts across our region, and developing programs around transportation, around innovation. Governor Evers directed $130 million towards workforce development. We are in the pipeline. We're working that. Meaning when we look at what workforce development programs, it's not, and I love the hospitality. I love Ellie Chin, which is great. Love her to death. We're working on some things. But we do also have to, where can we get IT and construction? Was on the horn with Jeannie Cullen. Jeannie's been great. So we have to look at these opportunities, whether they're construction, the hospitality, biosciences, and tech. How do we create pipelines for developing talent internally here, in addition to trying to attract talent elsewhere? So again, it's always a two-pronged approach. We have to develop the internal talent here, but yet we also have to attract talent elsewhere, from elsewhere. Our MadREP broadband action plan. When I first got here, we partnered with an organization. We are now in the middle of doing a speed test. I'll make sure you all can get that link, because I would like to encourage you all to go and test your internet speed. One of the reasons why we want to do this, and you all, let me say this, and I've said this publicly, and please, I hope I don't offend anybody. I don't do task force meetings. I don't do a bunch of meetings. I'm traumatized from politics as a recovering politician. And Trisha will tell you, whenever they wanted to do something and kill it, we created a task force. And then the task force meets for 2 years, 3 years, and then nothing happens. I like to work. I don't want to do a lot of talking, because this is not nuclear physics. We know what the problems are. The only question on the table is there the political will to shut up and get something done? That's it. And so I'm always moving to get something done. After 4 meetings, again, and I'm going on a rant here, either somebody's lying or somebody doesn't know what they're doing. Because it doesn't take that long when you're talking about problems that we've been talking about for years. The only question is, do we really want to solve the issue? If we do, then what we do, how I come to the table is, look, how can I help you? If you ever meet with me, that would be the first thing I ask. How can I help? Because I don't care who gets the credit. I don't care who gets the headline. I just want to get it done. So for broadband, the way to start this is a lot of communities, if you're not even mapping, if you don't know what your assets are, you're not even in the game. And so what you'll find is a lot of urban and rural areas are not even in the game because they don't know what assets they have. And this is the only way we can start this and address this problem. So what we did was say, we're going to create a mapping system, and it's up. We're going to run this for 3 months to try to map our territory. Once that's done, then we can go to the next phase and start looking at solutions to deliver broadband infrastructure. Our MadREP funds. At some point, probably, I'm hoping for the end of this month, you'll see some kind of announcement about a revolving loan fund. We're increasing our balance sheet. We're increasing access to capital, a $372,000 revolving loan fund. We're working on a housing fund with my good friend, former Secretary Lori Heineman, a housing fund on $5 million. Again, we're talking about trying to solve problems and actually get something done. It's not just good enough for you all to hear that MadREP is into finding data, but we actually come up with solutions. And then our venture debt fund, a $5 to $10 million fund that we're looking to establish. Our Madison region cluster snapshot, as you can see, you all know a lot of the organizations and businesses. One of the things that we have to do is get a better relationship with those. One of the programs that we're working on, and Ellie, please forgive me, but we've been talking about a database of talent that we could showcase to our corporate partners, where they can get a first look at what kind of talent do we have? Where's that talent coming from? And how do we get that talent to these organizations? Profitable history of foreign and direct investments. Kathy Collins, my number 2 vice president of economic development, who's just a gem. We participated in international summits. Right now, MadREP is going back and forth. We're talking with the South African consulate, and this one is a little shaky. I'm still trying to figure out if we're ready for this, but hosting a meeting with the Saudi Arabia consulate, I'm still trying to figure that out. I don't want emails or people showing up at my house saying, hey, what are you doing? So, but we take foreign domestic investments very seriously because we want to market our assets to foreign countries to invest. Our MadREP revenue generating programs, and I believe this is my final slide. And again, it's just to show you all the vision of when we do economic development, what it really entails, and how MadREP is not just an organization where we're just dialing for dollars, but we're actually generating sustainable revenue to actually solve some of today's problems. Our MadREP housing fund, our broadband program, our Main Street program, which we administer for the state, that's a $4 million grant program. If you all know business owners who are moving to a commercial space or vacant space who may be eligible, please send them to us. We'll try to do what we can. Our MadREP Venture Fund, and we've also launched our MadREP Foundation, which one of the things that we're doing is looking at other programs and partnering with some of the smaller organizations to implore, programs that would help lift up the BIPOC community. And so I want to thank Old National Bank for giving us a grant to work with the Wisconsin Black Chamber. We're doing some work with the Latino Chamber, the Native American Chamber. So again, a lot of the things that we do is about trying to solve problems and making sure that there's a value added proposition. We believe in collaborations, working with all of you to make sure we're moving the needle. I ask my team periodically when they mention an organization, I ask, well, what do they do? What do they do? Meaning, what organizations are literally trying to move the needle, because those are the groups we want to partner with, because we believe that success should be measurable. You should be able to say, when you look at MadREP, here's where they started, here's where they're going, here's their impact. So with that, I'll be quiet. Say that again, Ron.
We need the number back up on the screen. Back up on the screen. There we go. Today's lotto winning number. Or your way to call Kazakhstan. Yes, I did look that up. The country code for Kazakhstan is 73. So don't enter that into your phone. That'll be a very expensive transaction for you. But Menti.com, that was the worst joke I've told all day. That says a lot because I told a lot of jokes. 7307-7017 for questions for Jason. We've got about 15 minutes, so please, a fantastic presentation. You are doing so much work. I can't believe it's only been 10 months since you've been here. We are so excited. So quick question we've got first from the audience is, how has the pandemic truly impacted the Madison region? And how is the economy faring today as we sort of move into the next phase?
Compared to other places, we're positioned as one of the best places to come out of the pandemic. It has impacted us in the sense that, like a lot of other places, we fall victim to where are we going to get bodies? Where are we going to get this talent? When you look at the shortfalls, now everybody's competing. The manufacturing industry is competing with the hospitality industry. Again, when you go to certain places and you see for hire signs, everybody is looking and trying to find labor. And so at some point, I believe we'll come out of it. But it'll take some innovation. So on one hand, we're doing okay compared to other places. We weren't hit as hard, but we still suffer from some of the same ills that other places suffer from, finding bodies and getting bodies back to the workforce.
So that actually a question that impacts downtown directly. Yeah. And I want to talk about a program that you have started to work with Madison College, Ellie Westman at Destination Madison. Yep. As you all know, tourism is a $1.4 billion industry in Dane County, and a quarter of that, over 300 million of that, is just downtown. Yeah. Unfortunately, that number dipped to 112 million in 2020, and about 4,500 employees normally in hospitality is down to about 2,000. So 2,500 jobs. What programs are you working with in the hospitality sector to ensure we are building talent now, but in the future, long term?
So the discussions we've all been having, and when I say we, it's us, DMI, Ellie Westman Chin, MATC, it's creating a program where we can, again, build up that current talent pipeline from those individuals who are, one, either looking to re-enter the workforce, to those individuals who college may not be their track record. But number one, aggressive marketing and campaigning about what we're doing, what opportunities are out there, and then trying to get those individuals to go through some kind of training program. The Wisconsin Hotel, Restaurant, and the Hotel Lobby Association have all said, listen, if you get us the bodies, we'll hire them. So now is just making sure with all of us at the table, how do we make that pipeline as efficient and as a smooth transition? So those are the types of things that we're working on doing for downtown Madison and for the rest of our county.
Another question we have is about innovation and entrepreneurship. These are big topics for Madison. And I think one of the reasons why we potentially can go from good to great, as Jim Collins says. Yep. What does the current innovation and entrepreneurship sectors look like? Where are we seeing growth, and how do we grow it to make it even stronger for everyone in our community?
That's a great question. I'm trying not to give you all a political answer.
You can give us a real answer too.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if that. Oh, I'm going to get in trouble.
Yeah, that may get both of us in trouble. I think the sectors bio, fintech, those sectors are great. The question becomes, how do we get individuals, and quite honestly, how do we get the state to start making investments in those types of initiatives? And it's an ongoing discussion. But I think when you look at that, one of the things that I've tried to do is, you all may see a headline about it. There's a young lady by the name of Britt Galschuk who created a genome company. And one of the first African-American VCs, Dana Guthrie, just decided to put $400,000 of seed round capital. I made that introduction and connection, but quite honestly, those are the types of things we need to do. The people who have the resources and know-how need to make the connections to those who don't. You know, at a very low level, that's the way you get these things done. But it does need to be, number one, intentional. And when you look at the biosciences, healthcare, ag tech, fintech, I'll say this. Number one, our education system needs to make those a priority. We need to move out of what I would call tier one things. And this is what I mean by that. We administer $10,000 grants for the Main Street Bounce Back program. That's great. That's fine. But one of my concerns is that I'm seeing a lot of hair salons, barbershops, and I'm not knocking those industries. Please don't get me wrong. I'm not knocking that. But what I would prefer to see more of is, can we start deploying capital to biofarm? Can we start deploying capital to those scientists and innovative groups that are working on AI? Can we start looking at programs that will deploy capital to those kinds of areas, because those are the areas that will make your community a little bit more sustainable and keep them competitive and innovative. So there has to be sort of a come to Jesus meeting with right now government and some of us in economic development, because my fear is, when you look at a lot of the money that's coming down the pipeline, as an economic development professional, here's the number one question: what will we have to show for it? And that concerns me right now. So I don't know if that's a longer way to answer that question, but
yeah. Next question is one close to my heart. How important is a vibrant, equitable, and welcoming downtown for the entire MadREP region, the 8-county area?
You know, it's what makes the heart of the community. It's what attracts people. Y'all, it's not the technical stuff. It's the warmth, the energy, and love that attracts people. That's always that's at the end of the day, that's what will make your place attractive. Let me give you an example. When I got here, this community was totally different from where I come from, Milwaukee, and I love my hometown. But I met Jason Ilstrip, and we hit it off like you would swear me and Jay grew up together. And for a person like me, to be very candid, as an African-American man coming into a community, guess what's happening when I go home and I'm bragging about this place. I'm rubbing it in people's face. I'm going, look, you really need to come here. The people are freaking nice. And they got a lot of stuff going on. It's number one for places to live, work, and play. It's number one. Those are the things that sells a community. That's why it's important. It's not about as much, are you a Dem or a Republican? It's what will make a person feel welcome in that community. You can have your differences. You can have your different beliefs. But if I feel like I belong and that this community wants me, I can guarantee you, doesn't care what creed, color, race, or religion you are, this place will continue to boom. That's what we need to be focused on, not all the freaking differences that ostracize everybody else. Sorry, I was getting on my preaching.
Could not agree more. And we did hit it off right away, and we continue to.
Every time I see him, and I'm not BSing you, I love this dude. So nice. I really do like this dude.
Thank you.
When I see him, I feel like, man, this is a friend. And that's what's needed. Zach, Brandon, and then I'll say this from a competitive point of view. When I got to town, you all brought me and Ellie to lunch or dinner.
Yes, absolutely.
And they sort of schooled us on how to move around here. What I like about it is it's the impression that I get is everybody wants to see this place excel. Everybody wants to see us move forward. And out of that, there are no silos, right? When I look at those guys and they're doing their things, I'll tell you what my reaction. That's great, but as a competitor, how can I be just as good? Right? How can I duplicate that? How can I add value to what they're doing? Those are the things, those are the intangibles, you all, that drive communities. That's it. Those are the intangibles. If you can learn how to market and show people the intangibles, that's what makes a sustainable community.
Yeah, but I think you stepped right into this ecosystem here with, just like you said, when you go into meetings with people, what's the first thing you say? How can I help? Yep. You've done the exact same thing with our organizations. And I will say one plus from COVID is the organizations like the Chamber, Destination Madison, MadREP, Black Latino Hmong Chambers, all are working really well together, working more frequently together on larger projects. So that has been a real positive. All right. So to end on a positive note, last question, a big one. What does the future of the region look like? And what are the challenges and opportunities moving forward?
That's a good question. And it goes back to those concerns that I had. The future looks like, what are we going to do? The future looks great. I'll say that. I'm a very optimistic person. That's because I'm committed to doing the work. Right? I mean, I'm committed to doing the work. I'm willing to work hard for the future that I envision. So the future looks great. Now, that said, it has to be one where we're literally working on the solutions. When you look at childcare, transportation, when you look at housing, we just saw that out of the pandemic, those are number one issues. How do we attract talent? And so, again, we've done well. We've done good, but the future will continue to look great if we continue to ask ourselves, how can we consistently be better? And when you develop a game plan and make sure that your number one focus is to leave this world in a better place and empower people to be successful, then you create that future. And that's what we want to do. And I think that's what we're doing. The future looks good. I think the future looks great because we have people committed to making it look great.
Jason, a minute to talk about November 30th.
Oh, yes. How can we support you and the Urban League of Greater Madison for the Diversity Summit on November 30th?
Buy a ticket, attend, and show up and support. I mean, this was before my tenure, but Ruben and my former predecessor, Paul Jaden, great job on the Diversity Summit. You all, those things are important because it shows a community, right? It brings us all together to learn, to have real good conversations, to learn from each other, diversity to become tighter. So I would encourage you, go to our website, register, attend, share it with somebody you know. Those are the kinds of things that when you ask me, how does the future look? It looks great when we do those things.
Well, it is a highlight of the year. I highly recommend all of you attending because you'll get to see more of Jason Fields, President and CEO of MadREP. Thank you so much for all you do for downtown, for our community, and thank you for joining us today.
One more. So we may be announcing something with the Green Bay Packers. So keep you guys guessing.
Well, as a Minnesota Vikings fan, I'm not as interested in that development.
We were friends, me and Jay.
Well, you are the winner. You won again this week. Thank you very much. Thank you. Well, I blame my parents for that Vikings thing. There's nothing you can do when you grow up in downtown Minneapolis. I'm always, every season, I just know that I'm going to lose and lose and lose. So thank you, Jason, very much for taking the time today to be with us. The relationship with MadREP and DMI could not be stronger, and we want to make it even stronger. I love that idea of going good to great and being an equitable and more welcoming city for everyone. Fantastic. Thank you again to all of you for joining us, all of those people on Zoom worldwide. Thank you to Whitley LLP, Ho-Chunk Gaming, Madison, Michael Best and Friedrich, the State Bank of Cross Plains, JP Cohen, UW Health, Unity Point Meritor, Quartz, and the Edgewater Hotel. We'll see you here in a month's time. If not, we've got plenty of great meetings, including on the tech scene in downtown this Wednesday. I have no idea what the day is, the 15th, 16th, 17th, 8 o'clock can join us with a bunch of young tech entrepreneurs. And later that afternoon, we've got a really important panel at UW South Madison's Partnership Campus. Join us for a panel on how do we make Madison, the most livable city for everyone. It's with our friends at Open, the Out Professional Engagement Network. So please do join us 5 o'clock on the 17th. We'll see you all. Have a great rest of the day and stay warm. Thank you very much.